Stitch and Bear time. My name is Leslie, and this is Little Bear. Hi, Little Bear. Hi. Oh, is that my sock? Where did you get that, you little stinker? And I have some exciting news for you because behind me is my brand new sewing room. Yay! I am so excited for this. All right, let me sit down and get all situated, and I'll tell you how this happened. So how did this happen? Well, let's just say that my husband and I had a very good long conversation about what we should do with this room, and I won. No, I didn't win. I'm kidding. You know, we decided together that this is the best for us. I'm kidding. I love you, honey. Thank you so much for letting me use this space. He's very, very sweet and such a good hubby. Okay, so I have been very busy sewing away, and I've done lots of projects. And I'm going to show you a few things I've been working on that aren't quite Bucilla related, but sewing related. And then we'll get right into our brand new kit called The Haunted House. And it is looking very cute. As you can see behind me, it's very sparkly already. So let's get started. So one of the first things I started working on was this Beautiful Night table runner. That's what it's called, Beautiful. There you go. So as you can see here, I was ironing those pieces together, and then I ironed it onto my fabric. So it should look like a really cool Halloween-y table runner. So I'm doing 2 haunted houses right now, I guess, instead of the one that we're supposed to be starting today. I also gotta work with my sewing machine and get to know some of these other stitches I don't typically use, like the blanket stitch that I used on that door there. And then I moved on to my quilt that I said I was supposed to be finishing up here. So I got my free motion quilting on and finally finished piecing together this ginormous queen size quilt. Finally shoved it into my sewing machine, and I have like this little Singer patchwork sewing machine that only has like a 5.5 inch throat space. Very difficult, but I was able to do it. As you can see, I got my swirls on, and towards the end, it looked really good. It's definitely the biggest quilt I've ever done, and that's the most quilting I've done on a quilt so far. Best thing I've done so far, in my opinion. I absolutely love it. And then towards the end, Little Bear was like, Mom, stop fiddling with it. It's done. I'm gonna take a nap on it because it looks like it's a finished quilt. And I took his advice and finally did a final picture at my parents' house where it got to lay over the side of one of their walls there, and it just looks gorgeous. I'm so in love with it. After all of that was said and done, it was time to finally start this brand new kit that you guys have been waiting for called The Haunted House. And like usual, I opened up the kit, got all my stuff together, organized myself, ironed out my felt. And if you want to see me ironing my felt just to see what I use, you can look at some of my past videos that I have done. Cut out my first felt piece here. And then I organized myself by rough cutting all the other smaller pieces, not on the line where I was cutting off the numbers, but I will show in a little bit more detail what I mean by rough cutting it. Just trying to get myself organized here. As you can see here, I have the first 2 pieces put together, and I did have to do a little bit of work before I could start attaching them to each other. So I had to put some sequins and beads on, do a satin stitch, and then I had to do a brand new stitch that I haven't done before called the split stitch. And I really like this stitch. At first when I saw it on the instructions, I was like, no, I'm gonna do an outline stitch. But then I tried it because I just wanted to see what it would look like. And I was like, no, this split stitch is perfect for this fence that's supposed to look like a fence. So we're gonna do a close-up on this. I'm gonna show you how to do the split stitch, and then we'll come back to this. So here's a close-up of what the split stitch is supposed to look like. You can see the felt through this stitch. And the way you want to start this stitch is you want to put your needle down where you want that whole stitch to go, like the end of it. Come up as if you're doing an outline stitch, and then put your needle between the 2 strands. I'm using 2 strands of thread here. So I put the needle through 2 strands and then pull. Let's do that one more time. So again, I put my needle down where my stitch is going to end at, come up where my last stitch was at, like an outline stitch, but the difference is you're putting your needle through 2 strands of thread. and then you're going to pull it. And there's your split stitch. Kind of cool, I really like this one. It's actually one of my favorite now. I didn't like it at first, but I like it now. From here, it was time to get the house created. And I could have done it the old way where I do one piece at a time, I embroider, I sequin, I applique it on, and that's how I do a lot of my projects. I just go one piece at a time. But with this project, I'm on a deadline and I needed to streamline everything. So I decided to organize my pieces 1 through 43, and I decided to do all my embroidery work and all my sequencing first. Now I want to point out that notice I didn't actually cut my pieces out quite yet. Let me just pull one out so I can show you exactly what I did. This is a good one. This looks like it's supposed to be part of the door. As you can see here, I didn't actually cut out the piece. You can still see what number it is. So I just rough cut it so that you can still see the number. Did all my embroidery and my sequin work. And now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to cut these pieces out and applique them on and stuff where it's necessary. And that's going to make this go so quick. My favorite thing about this method is not only does it make it a little faster, but suddenly this wall hanging is going to look like it transformed like that. Exactly. Isn't that cool? I didn't show you every single little piece, but I think that's pretty cool to see it from start to finish after one day of me just cutting and appliquing, cutting and appliquing. And what a transformation that is. And of course, I did have my sewing buddy there sleeping by my feet as I was trying to get all these pieces put on this haunted house. Now, one thing I wanted to point out with this haunted house so far is that the door I did a little differently from what the instructions told me to do. They wanted me to sew together that top piece that has the sequins and the bottom and then just attach it on. To me, that seemed a little flimsy. You don't stuff it, you don't put anything in there to keep it stable so it feels and looks like a door. So I did cut out some cardboard and I put it into the door. Now, if you want to see me use cardboard in one of these pieces here, you should go back to my Under the Sea ornament kit video that I did. I showed me putting cardboard into the turtle. So that's a little bit of a closer look if you want to see that. But it gave this door more structure, and now I feel like it's really going to hold its shape over a long period of time. And that's it, everybody! We have started our haunted house. We are a third of the way through this kit. I will admit it took me a week to do 43 pieces, which I don't know how fast people sew, but for me I had to sew a lot, and I do other things. I work full time, so that was kind of hard for me to like get everything in. But I did do all this in about a week. I'm excited to see how it's going to look at the end. I will do another video that I'm going to post at the end of this month to show the finished product of the haunted house. And I'll show you what I did with the table runner as well, just so you can see another thing that I'm working on. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching Stitch in Rare Time. I will see you all next time when I post a video at the end of this month. See you all then. Bye!